Welcome to Agoracom Small Cap Breaking News, your daily go-to source for the best small cap headlines for over 65 million investors since 2007. And for you, our dedicated listener, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really cutting through the noise. Think breaking news pace. We're diving deep into the latest high-impact stories from the small cap world. Our mission? It's simple, really. We pinpoint what actually drives investor interest. The hard financial numbers, those crucial drilling results, the strategy behind it all. We take these fresh headlines, we unpack the really important nuggets of information so you know exactly what's happening, why it matters, clear, concise, and hopefully pretty engaging too.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here is how these specific details, the actual numbers, financial or geological, they can tell such a larger story. Sometimes it's kind of hidden, right? About where a company might be heading, sifting through all that daily news for the actionable stuff, the compelling data. Well, that's absolutely key to understanding the real potential, whether it's under the ground or, on the balance sheet.
Absolutely. Okay, let's unpack our first big headline then. We're starting with PyroGenesis Inc. They trade on the TSX under PYR, and also OTCQX is PYRGF. The breaking news is PyroGenesis secures first titanium powder supply deal with European additive manufacturing firm. Okay, so commercial contract, that always sounds significant. But what makes this particular deal so compelling for PyroGenesis?
Right. So the core here is that PyroGenesis has locked in its first commercial contract. It's to supply titanium metal powder, specifically a coarse-cut version of Ti-64 to a European firm. And they're in the 3D printing space. And this isn't just a pilot or a test run, It's a real-world revenue-generating supply agreement. That's the key difference. Now, why it matters? Well, it goes way beyond just one sale. First off, it's major validation. This order didn't just appear. It came after a proper review and some pretty rigorous testing.
Yeah.
So it really validates their patented NexGen plasma atomization system. And just for context, plasma atomization, it's this cutting-edge process. It uses incredibly hot plasma to make these super pure, perfectly spherical metal powders, essential stuff for high-end 3D printing, like think aerospace, medical.
Gotcha. So it's not just a new customer signing on. It's more like a big stamp of approval on their core tech.
Exactly. Precisely. And it gets better.
Yeah.
This specific titanium powder, it's already qualified for use by a leading global aerospace company.
Right.
Yeah, that's a huge pre-qualification step. It shows the high-performance standard right out of the gate. It's like having a major seal of approval from a very, very picky industry, basically. Second thing, the market opportunity. It's enormous. The European metal 3D printing market, projections put it at something like $11.2 billion by 2030.
$11.2 billion.
Right. And growing fast, like a compound annual growth rate of almost 25%. So this deal, it positions PyroGenesis right in the middle of that boom, especially in Europe, where they really value top-notch engineering.
Okay, $11.2 billion growing at nearly 25%. That's definitely significant. And titanium itself, that's a critical mineral, isn't it?
It absolutely is, which brings us to the strategic importance. Titanium's officially classified as a critical mineral. So this deal strengthens PyroGenesis's role in the global supply chain. It fits right into what they call their commodity security and optimization strategy. It makes them a key supplier for materials that are just essential. And Peter Pascali, their president and CEO, he put it well. He said, this initial order comes after a successful review and testing process. We see this as the first of many opportunities in a region that values engineering excellence and advanced materials.
Okay, so looking ahead, what does this mean for the company's future beyond just this first order? It feels like they're planting a pretty important flag here.
They certainly are. It's a strategic foothold. A beachhead, you could say, in a market that's expanding rapidly and is critically important. And they're ready to go. PyroGenesis already produced the powder for this order. It's scheduled for delivery in the coming weeks. That shows they can actually fulfill. Their NexGen system isn't just innovative. Many consider it an industry benchmark for quality, for efficiency. And listen to this. The CEO also mentioned the customer is a key technology hub in their region.
Interesting phrasing.
Yeah, it strongly hints at potential follow-on contracts, right? Maybe broader adoption in that European market. And it's worth remembering, too, PyroGenesis actually invented the term plasma atomization. They coined it.
Really?
Yeah. They are the pioneers here. That just reinforces their deep expertise, their long-standing reputation in this space.
That is fascinating. Okay, from advanced materials, let's pivot. Let's look at something equally intriguing where biotech meets consumer wellness. Our next company is BioPharma Ltd. They trade on the NASDAQ, symbol QNTM, and also on the CSE, same symbol, QNTM. The headline here, Quantum BioPharma's breakthrough beverage partner Unbuzzd Wellness launches $5 million capital raise with eye on IPO. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Biotech, a beverage partner, a $5 million raise. What's the core financial takeaway for quantum investors? Especially, thinking about shareholder value.
Right. The key financial takeaway for Quantum BioPharma shareholders is, well, it's crucial. Unbuzzd Wellness Inc. That's the company Quantum licensed their Unbuzzd beverage tech to. They're launching a $5 million Regulation D capital raise. Now, a Reg D raise, it's a specific type of private offering, helps companies raise funds more efficiently, often used as a stepping stone maybe towards an IPO down the line. But here's a critical part for Quantum shareholders. This raise is non-dilutive.
Non-dilutive. Okay, explain that.
It means Quantum BioPharma's ownership stake in Unbuzzd doesn't get watered down by this new investment coming in. They keep their percentage. Specifically, Quantum retains a 25% anti-dilution stake in Unbuzzd until Unbuzzd hits a $1 billion valuation. Plus, they also keep over 20% equity generally.
Oh, okay. That's a very clever structure. It protects their upside as Unbuzzd grows.
Precisely. Protects their ownership percentage as Unbuzzd brings in more capital. And on top of that, there's a really compelling royalty agreement. Quantum gets 7% of Unbuzzd sales until they've received $250 million. After that, it's 3% in perpetuity. Forever.
Wow.
Yeah, so that sets up a potentially significant long-term revenue stream for Quantum. And they don't even have to run the beverage business themselves. But what makes this product really stand out, from a consumer angle and clinically, is the validated efficacy.
Right, the results.
The results were pretty remarkable for a beverage. A clinical trial showed Unbuzzd achieved 40% faster alcohol metabolism within just 30 minutes.
40% faster.
Yep. And improved mental clarity, also within 30 minutes. Plus, a 67% reduction in headache severity after 4 hours, and, crucially, no reported side effects.
That's seriously impressive clinical data for something you just drink.
It really is that kind of robust data for a functional beverage. It's quite rare, very compelling.
And the leadership team over at Unbuzzd, sounds like they bring some serious commercial firepower to the table, too.
They absolutely do. Unbuzzd Wellness has put together a strong team, deep industry experience. You've got John Duffy. He used to be VP of Marketing Assets and National Sales at Coca-Cola.
Okay, yeah, big name.
Right. And Jerry David, the former CEO of Celsius Holdings, another big success story in beverages. These are people who know how to build and scale brands globally. John Duffy himself said, quote, "This capital raise allows us to introduce investors to a new era in functional beverages. We are ready to expand across direct-to-consumer, distributor, and retail channels." And another important point, Quantum keeps all the pharmaceutical and medical rights to the formulation.
So potential beyond just the drink aisle.
Exactly. Opens the door for future therapeutic uses, maybe prescription products down the road. It creates this kind of dual path strategy for the underlying science.
Very interesting. Okay, let's shift gears again. From health innovation, let's move to, maybe put on our hard hats now, resource development.
Yeah.
Some compelling mining news.
Sounds good. Let's dig in.
We're looking at Independence Gold Corp. They trade on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol IGO. And their headline, it's a real eye-catcher for anyone in the mining space. Independence Gold hits 52.46 meters of high-grade gold and silver at British Columbia's 3Ts project. Okay, when you see high-grade and those kinds of meters in the same sentence, well, that always signals something potentially big, right?
Yeah.
What exactly do these specific drill results tell us about this 3Ts project?
You're absolutely right. Those are definitely the magic words in mining news. Independence Gold announced some really impressive assay results from their 3Ts project up in BC, the absolute highlight. It's this broad intercept from what they call the Johnny Vein system. Get this, 52.46 meters, grading 2.51 grams per ton gold and 19.73 grams per ton silver.
52 meters. That's a wide intercept.
Yeah.
And 2.5 grams gold.
It is. To give you some context, for a bulk tonnage, potentially open pitable project, anything consistently over, say, 1 to 2 grams per ton gold, that's generally considered a strong grade. So hitting 2.51 over almost 53 meters, very, very compelling. And within that big 52.46 meter intercept, this is from hole 3TS 2531, they hit even richer zones, like 2.32 meters grading 9.83 grams per ton gold and 28 silver. Another 2.90 meters grading 7.16 gold and over 63 silver. And even a super high grade hit, 1.14 meters grading 18.46 grams per ton gold and 33 silver.
Wow, 18 grams gold, even over a meter. That's significant.
It really is. And there were other good hits nearby, too. Hole 3TS 2529 had almost 8 meters, grading 2.65 gold. Hole 3TS 2530, nearly 6 meters at 1.86 gold. So these results, taken together, they're incredibly important. They confirm the mineralization continues, it hangs together, and they significantly extend the known footprint, the size of this Johnny vein system.
Okay, so beyond just these impressive individual numbers, what's the bigger picture here? What does this mean for the project's overall potential? This resource estimates. Sounds like they're building something pretty substantial.
Exactly. Connecting it to that bigger picture, these results are absolutely crucial. Why? Because Independence is getting ready to update its mineral resource estimate for the whole project. That's coming later this year, Q3 2025. The Johnny vein now looks set to join the existing Tedmint and Tommy vein systems. Those already have an inferred resource of over 678,000 gold equivalent ounces.
Okay, inferred resource. Remind us what that means.
Sure. Inferred basically means there's a reasonable level of geological confidence based on drilling so far, but you need more drilling to upgrade it. To get more certainty, that's when you get to indicated or measured resources. So this new data from the Johnny vein, it strongly suggests they could add a substantial chunk to that existing 678,000 ounces.
Got it. A potential major expansion.
Right. And Randy Turner, their president and CEO, he specifically highlighted this. He said, we are particularly excited by the width and grade intersected in hole 3TS 2531, demonstrates consistent mineralization over more than 30 meters of true width, and includes multiple zones of exceptional gold and silver values. Plus, location matters. The project is near Artemis Gold's Blackwater mine. That adds another layer of strategic value. It shows it's in a proven, active mining district in BC.
Okay, compelling stuff from Independence Gold. Now, for our final deep dive today, we've got St. Augustine Gold and Copper Limited, trading on the TSX, symbol SAU, and the headline here is just massive. St. Augustine Gold and Copper unveils $4.18 billion copper gold project with strong returns and fast payback. A $4.18 billion project. That figure alone is staggering. What are the core economic numbers that make this project look so compelling?
Yeah, this one is definitely a blockbuster in the mining world. They've updated the preliminary feasibility study, or PFS, for their King Copper Gold project in the Philippines, and the economics are just exceptional. Let's break it down. The after-tax net present value, or NPV, using a 7% discount rate, comes in at a staggering $4.18 billion.
That's $0.18 billion.
Billion, yes. And just to quickly unpack NPV, it's basically the estimated value of all the future cash flows the project is expected to generate, but discounted back to today's money. A huge NPV like this signals a potentially very, very profitable project. Then there's the internal rate of return, the IRR after tax. That's an impressive 34.2%.
34% IRR on a project this size.
Exactly. That's exceptionally high. The IRR is effectively the project's expected annual rate of return, makes it very attractive. But here's the number that really jumps off the page, the payback period. It's estimated at just 1.9 years.
Wow. Less than 2 years to pay back the initial investment.
Just 1.9 years to recoup the initial capital cost, which is estimated at $2.37 billion, that kind of rapid payback. It significantly de-risks the project for potential investors and financiers.
Those are truly world-class economics, no question.
Yeah.
So what's the status of the project itself, development, permitting? Are there big hurdles left, or is this closer to being, shovel-ready than most projects this enormous?
That's always the key question for these mega projects, right? Permitting can be the biggest hurdle, but what's fascinating about King is its permitting advantage. The project already holds major regulatory approvals. Things like an environmental compliance certificate, a declaration of mining project feasibility. Both are apparently in good standing. They are currently working to renew their mineral processing permit that had lapsed due to some previous issues like mining bans and then COVID delays.
Ooh, largely permitted. That's rare for something this size.
It's incredibly rare. Michael G. Regino, their COO, called it a long-awaited milestone for our shareholders and emphasized the huge potential benefit to the Philippine economy and local communities. And Andrew J. Russell, the project director, he hammered home the cost efficiency. He said, quote, "This project will produce copper net of byproduct credits at one of the lowest costs globally."
Lowest costs globally, what kind of numbers are we talking?
Well, the C1 cost, that's the direct cost of producing copper after you subtract the value of the gold they'll also produce, is just $0.32 per pound. That is extremely competitive on a global scale. And the production forecasts. Over its planned 38-year mine life, they expect to produce 4.4 billion pounds of copper, and 6.9 million ounces of gold.
Just staggering numbers.
They really are. And consider this, just the first 5 years of production alone, they anticipate averaging 284 million pounds of copper and 333,000 ounces of gold annually. That kind of output would place King among the top 10 global copper producers and the top 25 gold producers.
Top 10 copper, top 25 gold. From one mine.
From one mine. As Nico Paraskevas, their executive director, put it very succinctly, open-pit projects of this scale with permitting largely in place are incredibly rare. That level of de-risking really positions King much closer to potential development than many other projects out there of comparable size.
Wow. What an incredible collection of insights we've managed to unpack today. From all these small-cap breaking news stories, it really shows how focusing on those hard numbers, the compelling results, it gives you crucial clarity, doesn't it, on a company's direction, its potential.
Absolutely. If you connect it back to that bigger picture we talked about, it really is about understanding the core value proposition that's sitting right there behind the headlines. And knowledge is always most valuable when you understand it, when you can apply it. These detailed financial results, these drilling numbers, they provide a much clearer picture for you, our listener, to maybe do some deeper research, make more informed decisions.
Exactly. That's our goal here. We take your sources, we pull out the most important nuggets, and hopefully turn what can feel like information overload into those satisfying aha moments. Today, we've explored some really significant moves from PyroGenesis, TSX, PYR, Quantum BioPharma, NASDAQ, QNTM, Independence Gold, TSXV, IGO, and of course, St. Augustine Gold and Copper, TSX, SAU. For you, our listener, the real value here is just being well-informed, right? Without getting totally bogged down in every single detail. So as you think about these kinds of announcements we discussed today, maybe a final thought to leave you with. What deeper questions do they spark for you about the future of critical minerals, maybe health innovations, or just resource development in this rapidly changing global economy we're in? Until next time, keep digging, keep learning, and keep getting well informed.